Hello everyone, welcome yet again to a stream and or session of me gameless. Because if you've been following along, my capture device broke this last Monday, which was the 26th of December. Today's the 29th of December. As of today, I still don't have a replacement, and not of lack of effort or help from my viewers. I should have had a replacement unit yesterday, but FedEx refuses to deliver it to my home. They are pretty bad when it comes to anything at this point. I don't really blame the line level employees. I'm blaming the system. It sounds like their system is pretty broken. That here we are on day 2 of something that was supposed to be an overnight shipment and they still haven't delivered it. I keep asking for updates and help, and they say they're doing whatever they can, and there's no updates or help. So that means they can't do anything. What a great system, right? Anyway, if at any point FedEx actually shows up during today's live stream, all right, we'll drop everything, we'll get the package, we'll unbox it, and we'll work on that and try to get that capture device working and see if we can get back into gaming. I'm actually curious, this new capture device, will it be better than my old one? My old one was really good, 1080p 60 frames, but whenever there was an intense amount of action going on the screen, in particular, like really high intensity action, combat scenes, or first person shooters in general, you'd see a lot of frame drops, and it would actually max out my CPU. I'm curious with this new one, will it be the same? Will it be better? Will it be worse? We won't know until we get it, and I'm still waiting for it. It's at this point over a day late and still waiting. So, there you go. So, what are we going to do today? Well, we got some random stuff we can do. That's the beauty here on DSPGaming, is that it's not just about games, that we can do random stuff and chill together. And in fact, I'm not kidding you, my viewership is going up as I do other random shit. So today, what I would like to do is I would like to do something that we discovered during the summertime. I would like to check out the Intensity Shuttle, an HDMI and analog HD SD video editor for your USB 3.0 computer. I owned this, okay, since 2014, when I was buying a bunch of capture devices, all right, to try to do direct capture on the fly. When I first moved here, my old capture device broke. I had an HD PVR2 and it broke. And I had an Elgato, and the Elgato didn't work that well. So I wanted some replacements. So I ended up buying my previous capture device, which I used for 8 years, the AverMedia Extreme Cap U3. Wow, it was good. But it died. I also had bought this, okay? Come to find out, the reason I didn't use this, it only does 720p. Now, 8+ years ago, that wasn't that big of a concern. Today, everyone wants 1080. I hear you. I understand why. So that's why this isn't really viable for modern capturing or streaming that day. However, what could this have a use for? It could be a good legacy capture device. Meaning, perhaps what I could do is I could capture from a PS2, or a more retro game console if I ever find or have one. Like, I do have a Nintendo. I don't even know if it works anymore. I have a Sega Genesis with a Sega CD with a 32X. Could I possibly direct capture from those consoles, and do gameplay of them? I don't really know, but if this works, it's a maybe, I guess. Okay? So I think what we're going to do today, we're going to unbox it. We're going to see exactly what it looks like, what it comes with, and see if it actually works. Now, this may entail that I have to shut down my capture software, OBS Studio, and restart it several times. We'll see. That means that the videos will have to end. That means that the stream will have to stop and restart and stop and restart. I hope you guys will be a little understanding there. With OBS, it's a little finicky. It won't really let you add something new. It makes you shut down and then add and then kind of open up again, and then it shows up. But we're going to check it out. Now, if we can get it to work at all, I might go into my closet across the hallway here and see if I can find my PS2. I don't know if I still have one that works. It's been many, many years since I looked and or tried to hook it up and get it to work. So very well, maybe it doesn't work at all. Okay? But we're going to give it a shot. All right? We're going to see. We'll find out. And this is just kind of a fun thing to do and relax. If you guys want to treat this more as a Q&A session while I'm doing something else, we could do that. It's not a serious session. I mean, obviously, this is not something super important. At the same time, I don't really have anything else to do since I can't capture games. So, kill some time. Right? In the meantime, I forgot to say thank you all for the engagement on the stream earlier. We have well over 100 likes, 170 likes. I forgot to do a celebratory bubble blow on today's Level 1 podcast, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Celebratory bubble blow. Thank you guys for the engagement. Okay. Now, so Intensity Shuttle, who made this? Who's the company that manufactures it? Blackmagicdesign.com. Not too familiar with the Blackmagic company, but I did hear that back in the day they used to make some really good capture devices. I never used them. I don't know if Blackmagic is still around all these years later or if they've faded into obscurity. These days you tend to hear either Elgato or Avermedia or, you know, one of these other major companies. Razer, I think, does capture devices now too. But I don't ever hear Blackmagic. Is Blackmagic even still around? This particular model is likely from like 2012 because I bought it in 2014. I'm sure it wasn't brand new at the time. Right? They're still around. They're still awesome. Says Battle Duck. Oh, really? You're welcome. Some people are thanking me for doing the hard drive streams that I did. If you don't know what they're talking about, earlier in the week I couldn't capture games, so we went through my old hard drives where I used to store all my classic gameplay footage, and we went through all of them and dated them all, so we know what's in each one. We even found the classic playthroughs that have been lost to time, like Final Fantasy 13 and Red Dead Redemption. So that's cool. All right. Without further ado, I think we should open the Intensity Shuttle. What do you think? Let's see what it is. So. It already has holes in the plastic from sitting around in storage for years, so we can just open it from one of those holes. Immediately, the value declines, because as you know, new in box, unopened, this is worth several $1,000s. But now that I've removed the plastic, it now is worth $2. That's how it works. Any collector's item, that's exactly how it works. Okay? All right. Oh, really? BattleDuck says, you don't really hear about Blackmagic because they're really used by video professionals rather than gamers these days. I see. All right, let's open up the box. What a weird box. Look at the box. It's a weird flippy, foldy. See that? It folds. That's weird how the box folds instead of just being a standard box. Huh. Wonder why it's like that. So the first thing we'll do, we'll take out the device itself. Oh, shit. I ripped the foam. All right, I guess I should grab the device rather than the foam. So this is the Intensity Shuttle device. Shall we take a look at it? The foam is sticking to it. Stop sticking. Okay, there we go. So here it is. Shiny. The Blackmagic design, it says on top. It appears that the USB cord will likely go into that side socket right there. And as you can see, you got two sides, out and in. You got HDMI in. Your component inputs in, which is the green, blue, and red. Then I believe this is S-Video, where my finger is. Yes, S-Video, which doesn't really be used anymore. And then you got your composite, or component, excuse me. This is component. This is composite. So composite is your really old school. Yellow is your one video cable, and then your two audios, white and red. Okay? So basically, HDMI would do everything. It would do audio and video. While if you're going component or composite, you need to have the white and red used in order to get audio from it. Okay? That's really it. It's very basic. It's got a rubberized bottom. So you can put it down and it stays in place. It doesn't slide around, which is kind of a nice touch, I guess, depending on where you're going to put this thing. But outside of that, it's pretty basic. Like, there's no bells and whistles on this thing. It's just straight up in, video out. Now, being that it says out, that makes me feel like it has pass-through, right? Which would be nice. I guess the question is, does it do pass-through that converts the signal? So here's what I mean by that. Well, let's say, for example, I want to capture from a PS2, and I want to use component video, the red, the green, the blue, which for some reason it's green, blue, red. Why isn't it RGB? They have it green, blue, red. I don't know why they have it that order. Okay, so let's say your inputs, that's what you're going to have going in from a PS2. And then for audio, you want to use your stereo jacks, which would be your your white and your red. So those would be the 5 cords you would use. Could we have it going in that way, but then have it go out via HDMI? If so, this essentially is going to serve as a converter that would allow any standard definition console to work on an HD TV. Does it do that? We don't know, right? If it does, that's pretty neat. Of course, the next question is, does it create delay? If it has delay between the way it does, then it's not worth it, right? You don't want to have massive lag on your TV. So I guess that's interesting. PS2, Wii, hell, Dreamcast. You're thinking classic consoles that you could hook up to this sucker. I have a Genesis with a Sega CD and a 32X. And we could actually hook it up to this and hook it up to my TV if it works. We don't know if it works, right? Also, interesting to note, it does not have an individual power source. It just runs solely off of USB 3.0, apparently. Okay. So let's see what else we've got in the box. This would be your USB cable, I assume. Blue. Kind of interesting, bright blue color. Taking a look at this. This is the old style USB cable that they used to use for, like, printers used to use this kind of connection. I don't know if anything modern uses this. I used to have an external DVD Blu-ray drive that used a connection that looked just like that. But I don't know if anything modern is using a USB cable that has that kind of connection anymore. Again, this is a 10-year-old, essentially a 10-year-old device. So it could be that's why we're using this style of connection that's kind of outdated, right? So anyway, I guess what I should do, plug this into the device. There we go. Battleduck says, be sure to note, if I plug this into my computer, that I plug it into a USB 3.0 port directly. Do not use a hub. Exactly. Something like this, if you want to avoid energy drop, meaning you need to use full energy from the USB port to be powered, you need to plug it directly into the USB port. You can't be using a hub or anything like that. It could create tons of issues. So there you go. Okay. Oh, really? Monitors can sometimes use a USB connection using that, I'm being told. And Derek says, is it true that you haven't used your PS2 in many years? I can't even remember. Do you guys remember the last time I used a PS2 for anything? It's been a ridiculously long time, so I couldn't even tell you the last time I did. Remember, when I moved out here, I did have standard definition capture capability because I had an Elgato capture device, and within about the first year of me living here, it broke. And then I just never bought a new one because everything new was HDMI, so I didn't really need it anymore. There was no need to have it, so. Is my PS2 fat or slim? I don't know. At one point, I had both. I had both fat models and slim models, but I don't even know what I have. If I have anything left, I don't even know what it is. I won't know until I look in that closet across the hallway. Fallen FGFM has re-upped their membership for 19 months. Thank you, Fallen. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for that. And just for the sake of argument, I am going to be refreshing from time to time. And it still says that my capture device is out for delivery and has not been delivered yet. So there you go. Okay. I used it for ballast. What the hell is ballast, Battleduck? What are you talking about? What is ballast? Don't know what he's speaking of. All right, so there's the foam. What else is in here, if anything? What the? Oh my God. It's got a software CD. When was the last time you saw anything come with a software CD? Today, everything's just plug it in and let the drivers download automatically, right? Like, you never get this anymore. So this actually has its own software CD. Blackmagic Design software and manual. Lucky for me, my PC actually does have a CD drive. I don't think I've used it more than twice. I'm not even kidding. I've had this PC for 8 years. I never use it. Thank you for selecting Blackmagic Designs for your work. We're excited to offer you the highest quality video tools. Download our latest software. Download your user manual and find support all at blackmagicdesign.com/support. Battleduck says, ignore this. Just plug it in and then tell it to automatically get the new software because this will be ancient. You're right. This is like a 10-year-old software suite, basically, right here. And warning. Important information you'll need to know if your computer uses the NEC USB 3.0 chip. If your computer uses an NEC chip for USB 3.0 connection, you might need to update the software drivers before you install your Blackmagic Design product. USB 3.0 is a new technology. Wow. So it requires the latest version of the NEC software drivers to enable high-speed performance required for high-definition video capture or playback. Wow. Please follow the instructions here to check if you have the NEC chip set. Step 1, check your computer. Step 2, download updates. Step 3, install some updates. And step 4, now you're ready to use the device. They actually list quite a bit of devices here. The Ultra Studio Pro, the Pocket Ultra Scope. There's like 5 or 6 different devices they list that this I guess works with. But the funny part is, again, it's probably completely worthless because, like Battleduck said, this is 10-year-old stuff. There's probably no point in even installing it. I might as well just plug it in and see what happens, right? Okay, so that's it. That's the whole box. It's just cardboard outside of that. So pretty straightforward and basic. So, wait a minute. There is an insane amount of tiny text written on the tab of the box. It says, this product will not capture from copy-protected HDMI video sources. Please always confirm copyright ownership before capture or distribution of content. So basically they're saying if your device has HDCP, you can't rip from it using this device. Now, a couple things about that. Number one, I don't know if PlayStation 2 has HDCP. They started adding HDCP when people were worried that people would start using game consoles to play and rip movies, which actually became a concern. There were people who were doing that. They would get a movie and pop it into their console and then immediately rip it to their computer and now put it right on the internet on those fucking torrent sites and shit like that. I remember in the early days of like Blu-ray and HD DVD, this was a major concern. That changed over time. Now, when you buy a new console, usually in the menu options, it'll say whether you want to have HDCP enabled or disabled. If you have it enabled, then you can watch movies on your console. But if you disable it, then you can't watch movies. It'll just say this vest is not, or this vest. I said vest because someone said vest in the chat. It'll say this this function or feature is not allowed. But I don't remember with excuse me. I don't remember if my PlayStation 2 had HDCP or not. Worst case scenario, I have a HDCP bypass system that I used many years ago, over a decade ago, to capture from my PS3. I still have it. I don't know if it works. I haven't used it in 100 years. It's literally over there, and it might or might not work. So I guess we can see if I need it. Hopefully I won't need it. Okay, so Darth Gallbox says, I don't think it was on PS2. I think they added it for PS3. Well, remember, PS2 had only standard DVD playback, correct? Battledock is like insisting this is not going to work if I just plug it in. He's saying that I'm going to need to download the latest suite of software. I guess we could look for it. But anyway, let's see what... I'm just curious. What happens if I plug this sucker in? Does anything happen? Does my computer explode? I guess we're going to find out. I'm going to plug it in. Right? Let's do it. Let's plug it in. And let's see what happens. Okay? Jeff says, this device needs very specific software and was very finicky. Interesting. So I guess the question is, how am I going to get it to work with OBS? If it needs to use its own software, OBS is not going to work with that software suite, right? I basically need the drivers to work. George Costanza says, Newman pops up on your computer and says, you didn't say the magic word. It's not Newman. That's, what's his name? Dodgson? No. Dodgson was the guy he was talking about. What was Newman's character in Jurassic Park's name? I can't remember his name. Anyway, let's plug it in. Let's just see what happens. I'm just going to plug the sucker in. Nedry. Dennis Nedry. That was his name. Thank you. Let's plug this in and see what happens. Ready? Here we go. All right, it has a pop-up as if it's searching for and going to install drivers. Installing device. Please wait while setup installs memory file. No. Necessary files from your system, and this may take several minutes. So it's doing it right now. Supposedly it's installing it. We'll see what happens. Where did I get the intensity shuttle from? I'm pretty sure I ordered it off Amazon. I'm pretty sure I got my average media capture device as well as this off of Amazon all at once. I ordered them all together like 8+ years ago. Rugal Bernstein says, as AVGN would say, let's plug the fucker in. All right, well, it ran. It went zoop. It installed software, and now it closed it. Okay? I guarantee you it's not going to work right off the bat. It's likely going to require me to close and reopen OBS even to get it to work. Here, if I could add, and I say, video capture device. All right. And let's say I name it Intensity Pro or whatever it's called, right? And I hit OK. And it's got all that we're seeing right now is webcam and virtual camera, and that's it. Those are the only options available to me. So it does not show up by default. What we can do is we can, by the way, Battleduck just got timed out by Nightbot for 10 minutes. I have no idea why either. And I can't untime him out. I don't even know what happened. Nightbot timed him out, and I have no ability to untime him out. Yeah. Weird. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so by default it's not working. Now, a quick way to test would be to stop recording, stop streaming, all right, restart OBS, okay, then try again as adding it as a new video device and see if it shows up as an input source, okay? If it shows up as an input source, step one's done. We can actually see what options are there for tweaks, and then what we can do is try to find something to hook up to it. If it doesn't show up as a capture device input source, that means it's going to need more software, which means we might have to go to the Blackmagic website and see what's available there, okay? So let's do that. Let's stop recording, stop streaming for a minute. I'll close OBS. I'll reopen OBS. We'll go back in a moment. If you're watching live, literally the stream will just start loading for like a minute and it'll come right back. If you're watching this on demand on YouTube, I do have to stop recording for a minute. Excuse me. Disgusting amount of belches. I'm very sorry about that. Yeah. So there you go. And we're going to have to do that. Now, any update from Fedex? Wow, there's a major update. There's now a picture of some guy flipping me off like this on the page, the tracking page. It's amazing. Wow. Now, I'm just curious. Anything from them on Twitter? No. Nope. Nope. Okay. All right, so guys, let's stop recording for a minute. Stream will go down for a second. Stream will come back up within a minute. And then we will see what happened, all right? Don't go anywhere. I'll literally be right back.